People, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, it is it is madness. Manchester United, it is madness, people. It is madness. We are cooking. We are cooking. All right, let me set my camera here correctly. Okay, you know what? I think we're good. Let's get into it. People, smash that like as you're coming in. And if you haven't hit that subscribe yet, please go ahead and do it because you know what? Manchester United, Ineos, they are cooking that good stuff. Manchester United and Ineos are cooking all the good stuff, the stuff that we like to eat, man. You know, that's what Ineos is doing. All right, people, welcome, welcome, welcome as you're coming in. Smash a like, hit that follow if you haven't done so. We're going to talk about Ugarte. We're going to talk about Mctominay. We're going to talk about Jadon Sancho, right? Omar Edits, welcome, man. And what's going on? All right. We're going to talk about, listen, what else? We're going to talk about Jadon Sancho and Sterling. What's up with that? All right. It is all crazy. It is all going off, people. Smash a like as you are coming in. All right. Listen, listen, it is crazy. All right, man. First of all, as we're starting, people smash a like as we're coming in. People smash a like for Man United. Smash a like for Ineos cooking. All right. Ineos is cooking. I don't remember the last time Manchester United we had a transfer window like this one. All right. You know, been a Man United fan for a while, but I have never seen. Well, I don't remember the last time. Probably since Alex Ferguson days, where the transfer window was this crazy. People, smash that like as you're coming in. We're gonna jump into Ugarte. We have a here we go for Ugarte. Not only one, we got two here we go. We got a here we go for Scott McTominay heading out the door, and then Jadon Sancho. What is happening with him? Right? We're going to see what's going on with that, right? All right. So let's talk about Manuel Ugarte, right? We finally, guys, first of all, you know, it's one of those things like I feel like telling you, everybody, like, congratulations. It's those like I feel like, you know, we have all been waiting for like over close to, I don't know, 3 weeks for Ugarte to get out. Here we go, right? So congratulations for your patience. I know Manchester United, we love this team, man, but this team can drive us nuts. All right. But when everything goes to plan, it is, you know what? It is pandemonium. Today, basically, the internet was being crashed by Man United. News was just jumping for all over the place, right? You know, we hear like, you know, boom, Ugarte, here we go. Next thing, McTominay, here we go. And then next thing we're hearing about Jadon Sancho, where is he gonna go? Is it gonna be Juventus? Is it gonna be Chelsea? And what? Raheem Sterling? Really? Raheem Sterling to Man United? Come on. Okay. Anyway, talk about my Ugarte. You know, we're gonna start with that. Right. So Manchester United. Basically, right now, Ugarte, if he's not in London yet, in Manchester yet, he should be arriving any moment because from what we see in the news, his bags was ready to go. Like he was waiting. This is just like us. We're waiting for him to come. His bags were at the door, ready to go. So as soon as this deal was finalized today, he jumped on the plane, heading for his medical, which should probably take place tomorrow at Carrington. Right. So that is what we are. So, but let's go back a little bit and see what we have on the news front when it comes to Manuel Ugarte. So, according to reports, Manchester United is on the brink of completing the signing of one of the most exciting young midfielders in the world, Manuel Ugarte from PSG. Ugarte is set, right? Listen, basically, this kid is gonna. Basically, we're hoping that he lights it up when he dons that Man United jersey, man. Right? So let's get into the detail. I mean, we know Manuel Ugarte, right? Let's dig into him and see what's going on. People, smash a like as you're coming in, share the stream if you don't mind. That way other people can join. Because listen, this is exciting times to be a Man United fan. All right, so Ugarte, who is he? All right. So for those who don't, you're not familiar, Ugarte is only 23 years old, guys. Um, he's a Uruguayan dynamo, pretty much, right? What do we say, dynamo? Because listen, he is tenacious. He's basically he breaks down plays. He's gonna give us a dynamic movement in that midfield, something that we didn't have with Casemiro, because Casemiro's legs are kind of slowing down. So basically, with Ugarte, he's gonna basically revitalize that midfield for us, right? So who is he? Ugarte is 23 years old, and basically a lot of European teams that were looking at him. And basically, he had a really good season with PSG, and he had a standout performance in the Copa America, which just finished, where he was named in the team of the tournament, right? Basically, from that point on, United were like, listen, we're already looking at him, but we were like, okay, this is the player that we want to get. So the deal that we signed for Ugarte is 50 million with an extra 10 million in performance bonuses, right? So listen, this is exciting, right? So this deal, basically, it couldn't have come at a better time, because by him coming in, Scott McTominay is set to join, to be heading out, right? That is the other, here we go, Scott McTominay heading out of the door for 30 million to Napoli. Thank you, Napoli. This is, guys, listen, if you see any Napoli fans out there, please thank them. Thank Antonio Conte, their manager, because listen, they are really doing us a favor here. They are rescuing us, because listen, we needed that money. We needed that 30 million to finalize these deals that are going to be happening here in the next couple of days, right? Because Scott McTominay, like as soon as Scott McTominay agreed, the deal for Napoli, personal terms was already agreed. And then the last thing yesterday was they're working on the payoff. Like, it's crazy with Man United, right? All these players, just like Wan-Bissaka, whenever he agreed the deal, we had to wait for a little bit, because he needed to kind of get like a compensation package, which is crazy, right? So basically, Scott McTominay had to do the same thing, just like Wan-Bissaka when he was leaving. They agreed on that. Boom. So now Scott McTominay is on his way to Napoli. So most likely he's going to be also getting his medical done tomorrow. AG7, welcome. What's going on? Smash a like as you're coming in, people. So so basically the deal for Ugarte came at the perfect time, because we needed Scott McTominay to be at the door, right? And again, Ugarte is a perfect replacement for McTominay, because listen, Ugarte is young, hungry, and ready to make an impact in the Premier League, right? Because the only reason that he's leaving PSG is because Luis Enrique did not see him a player that can play his type of structure, his type of ball, right? That's why PSG went and got João Neves, and then it created that opening that, hey, Ugarte, you can be basically, we don't need you anymore. Get the stepping, but we were like, okay, we'll take him. We will take him because he's perfect for what we need at Manchester United, right? So, so basically, like, listen, with Ugarte coming in, what he's gonna do in that midfield is this. He's one of those players. He's one of those players that, listen, he's gonna be able to break plays, right? Now, talking about Ugarte this last couple of days and checking online on how people are feeling about this. A lot of people were saying, well, with Ugarte coming in, we kind of need someone who's more like possession-based midfielder, someone who can grab that midfield, by the scruff of the neck and be able to dictate, right? The likes of Michael Carrick, for example, the way he was. Some of you, I don't know if you remember Michael Carrick in that midfield. He's not that kind of player. All right. We wanted someone who can break down the play. So Ugarte is going to be that tenacious player. He's going to jump into tackles, break down the play, recover the ball, and then give it to professionals like Bruno or like Kobe Mainoo to do what they do best. Kobe Mainoo is going to be able to play more advanced All right, and then same thing with Bruno. That way they don't have to track back as much because when basically imagine Ugarte, Casemiro, but hypercharged, kind of thing. So it's going to be exciting to see what he can do in that midfield, right? He's going to be, a player that he's going to be able to give us a more control in that midfield, right? Imagine worst case scenario, or not worst case scenario, Ten Hag could play like this, for example. We are going to Anfield, right? And then he says, listen, we kind of need to kind of sit back a little bit to control the ball. You play Ugarte and Casemiro. Come on, man. Listen, nobody's going to do anything in that midfield if you play those two, for example, right? Or it could be, Casemiro is kind of slowing down. You bench Casemiro, Ugarte starts. It's going to be Ugarte, Mainu, Bruno, perfect, right? You have control whenever you're advancing the ball from the back four to the midfield. He can grab the ball from the center backs, the likes of De Ligt or Martinez. He gets the ball, he can advance the ball to Kobe, Bruno, that kind of. So it's going to be more dynamic, possession. He can do that because he's aggressive, and we know how Ten Hag likes to play aggressive football. Make sure that we maintain possession, right? That's why also this last couple of days we saw how Ten Hag was playing with. He likes to include Mason Mount, because Mason Mount off the ball he plays very well because he's one of those tenacious, aggressive. He can press the ball, right? That way we're pressing the opponent to play on their half. So again, now we're bringing another player who can kind of play like, not exactly like Mount, but when it comes to the aggression and tenacity, to be that midfield general, right? That we were lacking in that midfield because Casemiro's legs are kind of gone. We saw that in last season, right? Right. I mean, the last couple of games we saw Casemiro. Okay, he did slowly. He was kind of getting back to his usual self, but still, Casemiro. He still has a lot to prove because last season, a lot of us were like, listen, Casemiro, thank you so much for your service. Peace out. But again, we couldn't do it because, hey, nobody could afford Casemiro's salary. That's one. We thought that the Saudi will be coming to get him. It didn't happen. So, it is what it is. So it looks like now Casemiro is going to stay. So it looks like that will be addressed maybe next summer to see, what can we do with Casemiro. So Casemiro is going to be staying. So the next best thing to be leaving, someone who can attract interest, was McTominay, and then McTominay was out the door, which again, it's good because Ten Hag did not want McTominay to leave because Ten Hag liked the idea of having that player in his back pocket in Scott McTominay. In the last 15 minutes, you need a goal, you chuck him in, and then McTominay can do that job, right? He can provide you with a goal, right? Because he has that knack, that smell, where the ball is going to come, and he did save us quite a bit last season. And for that, we're going to thank him for his service because again, he's an academy graduate. He has given us close to 10 plus years. So he has been a good servant. Yesterday, Rio, I don't know if you guys saw, Rio Ferdinand was saying like, listen, he doesn't like the idea of Man United pretty much offloading Scott McTominay. Basically, Rio was saying, listen, in all the teams, you need that the squad player. You don't all need the superstars, but you need a squad player, someone who's willing to sit on the bench, called upon when he's needed, to do a certain task, kind of thing. And then he referred to I think it was John O'Shea, in his time, right? But again, Scott McTominay can only do from what Rio is referring there. You have Scott McTominay, you're just keeping him for only certain periods. We want a midfielder, for example, who can play, majority of the game. He can start in that midfield and provide cover, right? For example, you want to, you're starting with Casemiro. Kobe Mainu is, tired. You can take Kobe Mainu, sub him, and then you bring in the likes of Ugarte, who can kind of play in that midfield, dictate the midfield. But McTominay couldn't do that, right? He was not very good on the ball. when it comes to stringing passes together, that kind of situation. So, it made sense for us to offload Mctominay for a player who's going to be better. And I'm glad that Ineos prioritized that midfield position, especially the number six, because in the last couple of seasons, the midfield we were struggling, right? Last couple of seasons we were just dealing with we did like a band-aid type of scenario. Like, we remember we brought in Sabitzer, right? He kind of played well, but we sent him back. And then last season we had Amrabat. So basically we didn't have a permanent fix. Ugarte is a player that comes in young. He's going to give us easily another like 3-4 years because he's young. He still has room to develop, and there's someone who can be in that midfield for the long haul, right? So at least they've addressed that problem when it comes to number six, because Casemiro, he's getting old. Maybe by next summer he's going to be gone. At least we'll have that. You have Ugarte, you have Toby Collier, coming down the pike, right? So we're looking good. But honestly, I still want. I wish Ineos, maybe, I don't know, they bring in one more midfielder. I'll take Amrabat back, because Amrabat has showed us, like, listen, from the last couple of games in that FA Cup, for example, he showed us he can play the type of ball that Ten Hag wants to play. And as a bench player, Amrabat can do the job for us. So I wouldn't mind having him as well, because we can get Amrabat for cheap. Because obviously money is an issue for us right now. So we kind of nitpick. We're like diamond. We're pinching our dollars to make sure we can get the best deal. So Amrabat will be a good deal if we can get him. Right? If we don't, I'll be happy. I'm not going to be too greedy. We already got Ugarte. We got Toby Collier, who can do, who can step up. So far from the summer tour in the US, Toby Collier looked good, right? So maybe if we don't bring anybody else, Toby Collier can get the chance to be like, okay, to step up in those games that, for example, those FA Cup matches or Carabao Cup and that kind of thing. Toby Collier can get a chance. So we shall see. But you know what? One thing I can say, I trust Ineos and their game plan, because they did the review, they know what we need, and they went and executed it to the T. Because you know what, guys, with Ugarte coming in, he's going to come in. He's the fifth signing. I don't remember the last time we had 5 signings coming in one window, right? We got today, this season, we got this transfer window, we got Delit, Mazraoui, Yoro, Ugarte, right? So who else? And Xerxes, right? That is crazy, right? So we should be, celebrating for all these new signings that came on board, because this is unheard of, right? So again, this is also showing Ineos, they know the game plan. They're bringing in players that can now work in how Ten Hag wants to play, right? So Ten Hag, no excuses, buddy. Okay, no excuses. Finishing top 4 with the trophy, it is the bare minimum, right? I'm sure you guys agree with me. Top 4 with the trophy, bare minimum. Less than that, it is a problem. Ten Hag, you're going to have a huge problem with a huge majority of the United fans, right? So we shall see, what's going to happen. But right now, I trust what Ineos is doing with the players that they're bringing in, right? Because they're building a team, right? Keegan Cranster, welcome. What's up, man? Listen, congratulations to all you Man United fans, first of all, for your patience, right? For congratulations for keeping your mental mental togetherness, because this Ugarte thing has been dragging for way too long. Finally, Ugarte is a red. He's on his way to get his medical tomorrow. So this is outstanding. And finally, also today, we heard Scott McTominay is on his way to Napoli to do his medical, right? And Did he sign? He will be signing probably by tomorrow, man. Keenan. Yeah, I think he'll be signing by tomorrow because tomorrow he was flying today in the UK, so he should be. I will check Twitter in a little bit. He could have already touched down, and then tomorrow he'll be doing his medical. So and then maybe after his medical tomorrow, he signs, and then next thing maybe he gets in a training session with the team maybe tomorrow later on the day, maybe on Thursday, maybe on Friday he does a little bit of training. So I'm hoping that by the Liverpool game he's on the bench, right? But Ugarte is on his way. Scott McTominay is going to be in Napoli, and again, if you see any Napoli fans out there, make sure you thank him for helping us with Scott McTominay because finally that the midfield of McTominay and Fred is finally no longer. That midfield is done ski. We're never going to remember that again because now we have a proper midfield. The likes of Kobe Mainu, Ugarte, Casemiro, right? Bruno, Mason Mount. That sounds good, right? Um, now, Kina, you're asking if Ugarte is going to start over Casemiro. Absolutely. I would start him over Casemiro. Definitely. I would start him. But also, he gives us an option with, we can always play both of them at double pivot, Casemiro and Ugarte. That will be, pretty decent. Imagine if we go to the likes of Liverpool and Anfield and we need more control in that midfield. You throw in Casemiro, you throw in Ugarte. That is a fire double pivot right there, right? So so we shall see. We shall see. What are the news we have going on? Okay, so we talked about McTominay. Let's talk about McTominay a little bit more. Of course, we heard that McTominay is on his way to Napoli. Let's see, it says Napoli have agreed 30 million for the academy graduate. Again, so it's 30 million, and we also included in the a 10% sell-on clause as part of the deal, right? So this is really good stuff. So it looks like McTominay, his contract was actually expiring 2025. So this is good. We were able to offload him. And again, Ineos, man, Ineos, the way they're rolling, it's really professional. All the deals that we've done, we haven't been caught like with our pants down saying, okay, you're forced to pay crazy money. They stuck with it. They dealt with the PSG, and then PSG kind of. I know they were wanting 60 million. PSG dropped their price, and then a deal was finalized, right? And this is all because they were patient. That's why. Listen, I'm so glad that in the negotiation team, like the Ineos for Barada, Ashworth, they're not like fans like us. Because if it was me, man, I'll be like, listen, forget about it. Just pay the money, man. Get Ugarte in here. But they stayed patient, right? They they talked about it. She talked about it until PSG brought that price down to where they want. So that is it's really good because now we finally actually we actually have people who are footballing people making footballing decisions at our team. That is amazing for us. And Keenan, I agree with you, man. Best wishes for Scott McTominay. Honestly, Scott McTominay, he has given us over 10 years of service at the team. We wish him all the best. Of course, we were going in a different direction. So we had to, let him go. Just like a job, when they call you and they're letting you go, they say, "Hey, listen, man, the company is going in a different direction. We're gonna have to let you go." Yeah, so they let him go. He can go to Napoli, and in Napoli, the Italian football is a little bit slower, and I think he's really gonna kill it out there, right? And we have a sell-on clause for him. If he kills it at Napoli, I know it's going to be another team come and try to to sign him, right? And we may get some money for that, right? So which is good to see, man. I'm glad that he took that chance. He said, "Listen, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to prove myself that listen, I can do this job away from Manchester United, right? Because being an academy graduate, all you know is Manchester, right? So to take that leap of faith to go out there, say, hey, I'm gonna go and test myself against other teams in especially a different league, different type of football. That takes guts. That takes guts. So more power to him, right? More power to him. All right, man. Listen. So Scott McTominay, peace out. Ugarte, welcome. Let's get into this Sancho situation, guys. Sancho situation. All right. Uh, guys, tell me this. Um, this is a question. What would you rather do? Um, allow Sancho to go to Juventus on loan or do a swap deal with Chelsea, Sancho with Raheem Sterling? What do you guys think? What would you rather do? Now, if you send him to Juventus on loan, for example, then it could be that end of the season, you're going to deal with that problem again, try to offload him, right? Because we thought him, Sancho, and Ten Hag, it was everything hockey dory, everybody was happy, but it doesn't look that way, man, because Ten Hag, it looks like he does not rate Sancho at all. Basically, Ten Hag, brought this guy uh, to the last two games, and he did not see game time, right? So, what would you guys rather do? Personally, if you ask me, man, listen, I'll take the money if someone was offering money, but again, Juventus may not have 40 million that Man United is asking for, right? Um, let's say, Keenan, I say you keep Sancho over Anthony. That's true. That is true. But based on these reports that we're seeing, Dan Ashworth, he looks like they have started a conversation with Chelsea, right? So the reports go like this. Manchester United sporting director Dan Ashworth is particularly enthusiastic about the potential swap deal involving Jadon Sancho and Raheem Sterling. This is according to Time Sport, right? Our main man, Dan Ashworth, likes the idea of a swap deal, right? Raheem Sterling, guys, an ex Liverpool, an ex Man City player. Imagine him donning the red of Manchester United. How do we feel about this? All right. Um, because one thing I don't like us bailing Chelsea out, right? That's basically what we'll be doing. If we take Sterling, and then yesterday I saw the thing that they were offering us. Yeah, Keenan, they're offering us Ben Chilwell. Um, Listen, uh, first of all, Ben Chilwell, I don't even want to even think about it because Ben Chilwell, if he was to come to Manchester United, he's going to be chilling in the medical bay of Carrington, hanging out playing cards with Luke Shaw. This guy, his injury record, Ben Chilwell, is worse than Luke Shaw, right? And Sterling, and again, Sterling is another one who gets paid a whole bunch of money, right? He gets paid a whole bunch of money, over 300K, I think, at Chelsea. So now Chelsea, they've identified Chilwell, Sterling, and I don't know, 30 other players that they don't want anymore. So now they're trying to pretty much offload him. So if we were to come in and say, okay, Sterling, you can come to us, it's like we're bailing them out. I mean, we're taking Chelsea's rejects pretty much. But again, ask yourself this. I was thinking about this too. Um, who is better, Anthony, Rashford, or Sterling? Right? If you're talking about wingers, right? We know how we feel about Anthony. He cannot do nothing, right? Rashford, again, he's not the same Rashford from like 2 seasons ago when he was scoring like 20 plus goals. So would you rather take Sterling because again, if Sancho leaves, for example, we'll be kind of short in that wing, right? Because we'll have Anthony, we'll have Ahmad. So we'll have Anthony, Ahmad, Rashford, and Ganacho, right? So again, we if Sancho leaves, right? So we're kind of a little bit short. And again, Rashford is not really firing in all cylinders. So do you want Sterling to come in? Do you think Sterling coming in, maybe he will come in with a, like a chip on his shoulder saying, hey, I want to prove a point. So maybe Sterling will come in and light it up at United. What do you guys think, man? The only thing is with Sterling, right? Sterling, he cannot hit a barn door, first of all. He'll dribble very well, get past players, and then when he gets to, trying to put the ball back in the net, he'll hit it over the goal. Like he's not clinical, right? So if we say, okay, we're going to take Sterling because Rashford is also the same thing, right? He's not really doing the job for us. It's not like Sterling is better than Rashford, right? And again, we could be bringing in, we could be trading problem, right? We're trying to offload Sancho because Sancho, he doesn't want to play for us anymore. Ten Hag, doesn't like him or whatever. We offload Sancho with his baggage, and then we could be bringing another baggage in the locker room. Right now, the dynamic in our locker room is pretty good. Young players, hungry, right? Looking to prove a point. So now you bring in the like of Sterling. Is he in that level? Does he have that drive? That we want in our players right now, right? Because obviously this season there's a lot hinging on this. For example, like Ten Hag, he has no excuses this time. Ineos backed him. Ineos got him the pieces that he wants, right? Because most of that team right now is Ten Hag's team, right? Most of those players he signed, so they need to deliver. So I don't know if Sterling really fits in, right? I don't know if he fits in also with age. I think Sterling is about to be, how old is Sterling? Close to 30. Let's see, Raheem Sterling age. Raheem Sterling. Let's see. How old is Raheem Sterling? He's 29. So Raheem is still, yeah. Actually, he's 29 according to the good old-fashioned Google. Yeah, he's 29. He's turning 30 December 8th. So that is not really the players that we're trying to sign, right? So you see, it doesn't really make sense for Ineos to bring in Sterling right now because all the players that were brought in is under 25 kind of thing. So bringing in close to a 30-year-old, it does not make any sense, right? So I think this could be also another thing what Ineos is trying to do. I'm thinking Ineos, they're playing a game here, right? They're playing a game because they want they're trying to force Juventus' hand. So it could be like some mind tricks because on the report that we're seeing today, they were saying like the only way, for example, Jadon Sancho can do that. We can do the swap deal with Chelsea. It can only be done under Man United's basically Man United's I'll say like direction. Basically, Chelsea's gonna have to deal with whatever Man United want to do in this deal, right? So it could be something like Ineos is pretending to talk to Chelsea about Sancho going to that side, that way to force Juventus, which is the true destination that Ineos wants Sancho to go. They're trying to force their hand because maybe if Juventus sees like, okay, the deal United is negotiating with Chelsea, and then Juventus really want Sancho, they'll feel like, oh man, we got to step up our game here because we may lose Sancho to Chelsea, right? So it could be like a mind thing because the Ineos have been really good this whole time when it comes to negotiations, right? We went in for Brunthwaite. Everton tried, they were being fools. We, rolled out and brought in the late Mazraoui, Euro kind of situation, right? Same thing with Ugarte. We were like, okay, as we were negotiating with PSG, we were like, okay, yeah, man, there's this other guy here from Burnley. What's his name? I forgot his name, the midfielder from Burnley who went to Fulham, right? We pretended like we were trying to go for him, as our backup plan, kind of thing. No, like basically at the back of our head, we really did not want that player. But whenever stuff like that is happening, you're showing people that hey, you want this deal, but you really don't care because you have other deals that you can go. It kind of makes that negotiation process go smoother because people feel like you're not desperate, and that's what Ineos have shown. We're not desperate, and especially in this transfer window, Ineos had to prove to the world like we are not the good old fashioned United, right? The United of the Woodward, United of the Murtaugh, where we just chuck money into problems. People, especially like as you're coming in and hit that subscribe if you haven't done so. Hit that. Make sure to follow the stream if you don't mind. I appreciate your being here, right? So Ineos is playing that long game, right? And that right now, Ineos, there's 4 days to go to the transfer window closes. They're like, okay, we can roll this a little longer to see if Juventus can bite. Yeah, again, they're pushing Juventus to Friday to the last minute deal. All right, yeah, Sander Burge, there you go, Jay. Thank you so much, Jay. Welcome, Jay. Yeah, Sander Burge, and we did not want Sander Burge. We wanted Ugarte. So Ineos is playing that game. These guys are good at what they do, man. So Jim said we wanted best in class, and guys, we see the difference. We see the difference when you have best in class handling business, right? We get good deals. Like the outgoings that we were able to offload this season, we brought in money. Like this is, I mean, I need you guys to rate this transfer window out of 10. What do you think this transfer window? How would you rate it? I'm curious to hear how would you rate this transfer window, because honestly, we've all been Man United fans for a long time here. I don't remember the last time we had a transfer window like this. This is this has been crazy. I agree with you, Jay. Jay is telling me 7 out of 10. You know what, Jay? I'm right there with you. I was gonna go with 7 out of 10, right? Because what they've done, bringing in 5 players in one window, that is crazy, right? That is crazy because that is almost a whole team there of new players that you can bring in, right? So we shall see how this whole thing is going to work out. But again, one thing I can say is this, guys. Also, another thing. Let me ask you this: with Ugarte coming in, do you start Ugarte versus Liverpool, or do you think Ten Hag is going to do what Ten Hag does? Whenever he gets his new players, he doesn't like to rush him. He's going to let him chill on the bench until Casemiro messes up, just like he did with the Lit, right? Instead of starting this man, that way he's fit and ready to go for Liverpool, he continued playing Maguire. Ten Hag, man, I'm Ten Hag in forever, well, until he messes up big time. But I'm Ten Hag in because since we lost that game for Brighton, a lot of people are already Ten Hag out, which is ridiculous. It's only 2 games, people. Relax, right? Ten Hag this season, he has no room to hide, nowhere to hide, because he has been given the tools, right? He's been given the tools to get the job done. So he really has to deliver, right? He has to deliver, or else, these reporters, all these pundits who hate Manchester United, they're sharpening their tools, man. And again, even for that game against Liverpool, a lot of them they're probably ready to go because they're like, okay, they expect us to lose, right? So again, we're playing at home with Liverpool. I don't expect us to lose. All right. Jay is saying, I always say we can't win every game. We can improve. That's all. I agree with you, Jay. I agree. Yes. And again, we did improve. If you look at that game, the game style, the style of play, we see it has improved. We're more like we're pressing the ball more. There's intricacy passes between the players. will definitely change. We're playing more in the close to the halfway line, the midfield. So things are changing, but again, it will take time, right? It will take time, but again, as fans, we cannot. Sometimes we're not very patient. We want that instant, change, and we should be winning all each and every game kind of thing, which it's not going to happen. Some old habits, it will take time to leave our system, right? Like mentality thing, like that game against Brighton, knowing that okay, 95th minute, 90th minute, guys, focus, everybody, focus, focus, focus. Make sure you mark your man. Don't necessarily just mark the space. But there's a saying, it says, listen, I don't remember the last time the space scored a goal. But, it's one of those, like, you gotta make sure you mark your man, like the basic defending principle, mark your man, right? Had we done that in the last game against Brighton, maybe we could have prevented that goal from getting scored on, because Brighton had three players wide open, in that back post, right? That is schoolboy defending kind of thing. But again, it's one of those things, bad habits from last season, where we switch off instead of staying focused until the final whistle. So which again, all those things, Ten Hag has to work on it with the team, and see what can be done. That way, as we play more games, and again, the players will get more used to the new playing style Ten Hag that is implementing, and then it will all work itself out, right? But again, we still have to, as we're improving, we cannot be losing a whole bunch of games, right? Because that is a no-no. We need to improve, but we need to keep on winning, right? So we shall see on that. So that's it. Okay. So the Sterling thing, personally, man, listen, I personally don't want, I don't want Sterling. Okay. I cannot imagine me seeing Sterling wearing that Man United red, right? Player that played for Liverpool, Man City, and all that. I don't want that. But again, I'm kind of caught in a situation, because if Dan Ashworth is really talking to Chelsea about this deal, I could really see this deal happening, right, people? I could really see now Sterling coming to Man United, because if you think about it, it could also be a situation like this. Dan Ashworth talking to Chelsea, they're like, listen, man, we have a player that we want to offload in Jadon Sancho, also getting paid almost the same amount like Sterling. And Chelsea have Sterling, they want to offload. Maybe they may agree on something like, hey, let's do a loan deal. Okay. So Sterling comes this side, Sancho goes to Chelsea, and then it could be like until the end of the season, right? But the problem with that is, whenever you do a loan, ideally you want to do a loan with an obligation to buy. That's what I would like for them to do. That way, at the end of the season, we don't have to sit here and go through this again with Jadon Sancho. What are we going to do with him, right? So hopefully they do something like that. But it could be that, okay, they say, okay, we have 4 days. We cannot really come up with a proper solution for these two. So I'll help you. You help me. Sterling comes to Man United. Sancho goes the other side. And then next thing, Sterling is starting against Liverpool. We could see that happening, right? Now, if he wears the Man United red, am I not going to support him? Unfortunately, I'm going to have to support him, man. He's a Man United player. It's one of those, right? If he scores a goal, I will be jumping and saying, you know what? Yes, right? So it's one of those. It's one of those. Let's switch. Saying, I think Ten Hag should switch. You'll give it as well. On needs to break. Yeah. I mean, Ten Hag. That's the thing. Ten Hag is stubborn. Jay here is saying he thinks Ten Hag should also, swap goalkeepers, but give some playing time for Bayendier. True, true. I think we may see Bayendier maybe in the cup matches. I hope. Really, I don't know, because Ten Hag he looks like he's stuck with his boy Onana, man. Right? Um, Again with Bayern Deer, like I saw him play for the in the Euros. He had a couple of howlers, right? Um, Kina say, "Are you in the US?" Kina, yeah, yeah, man, I'm in the US, buddy. Again, listen, I like Onana. I like Onana's attitude personally, but again, we haven't really seen Bayern Deer to see what he can offer us, right? I like Onana. I like his confidence, right? He knows how Ten Hag wants to play. You know that playing from the back, right? Playing from the back, and now he's going to have the likes of Delit, Martinez, ball playing center defenders who can actually advance the ball into the midfield. That's why also I think Ten Hag is trying to make sure he builds that understanding between his back four, Mazraoui, on the right, and then Dalot, all of them, the back four, they need to have some kind of, really good understanding. So probably that's why, Ten Hag is sticking with Onana for now. But again, yeah, ideally he should rotate. That way, worst case scenario, Onana gets injured. Bayern here also, he gets he will be ready to go. That way he doesn't get to learn on the job situation because Onana gets injured, and then you throw in Bayandir. He hasn't really played much with the Lit, Martinez, Mazraoui. So again, it becomes that it's a new process, new learning experience on the game, right? Uh, Johnson, what's going on, man? Smash a like as you're coming in. Sterling should, yeah. Listen, if Sterling is going to come to Man United, he definitely his wages he's going to have to cut his wages because all the players that we have now, anyone coming in, they're not going to get the crazy money like over 250K a week. It's not going to happen. So he has to cut his salary, his wages tremendously, right? So again, those probably could be the conditions that Dan Ashworth is talking about. If we're going to bring in Sterling, he's going to come in under our conditions because all the players they brought in now, no one is getting crazy money, which again, Ineos, they're learning from the mistakes of the past, like the Glazers and the Woodward, in Murta, the mistakes of playing the likes of Casemiro, paying them over 300K. When it comes to offload them, you're stuck with them because nobody can afford them, right? And then same thing with Jadon Sancho. You're paying him over 300. You cannot offload him because nobody can afford it, right? Ridiculous. Even Anthony, paying 80 million for Anthony, right? If it was Ineos, that deal would have never happened, right? Would have never happened. But again, back in those days, you know what? We just threw money at the problem, right? Thinking like, okay, everything's going to work out. So I'm happy that Ineos is trying to figure this thing out, establish an understanding in the transfer world because next for example, come the winter transfer window, come next year summer, all these teams that we're going to be dealing with, they will know that these guys, they know what they're talking about, right? They're not the good old Woodward where you can, whenever we come for a player, you tack on the United tax to it and thinking that they're just going to pay. Nah. Those days are over. So that's why it was very important for Ineos to be patient, especially this transfer window, because they knew the world is watching, right? If they caved in to some of these deals like the Branthwaite, right? Branthwaite, they really want him. They really wanted him, but they didn't cave in. They were like, listen, man, we ain't paying 70 for this guy. We're gonna go somewhere else. But guess what? Come next summer, Ineos, they're gonna go back for Branthwaite, right? And if I was Everton, I should have taken our money, man. Whatever offer Ineos put in for Branthwaite, they should have taken it because they're struggling now, right? They could have used that money to bring in some reinforcement, right? But hey, Everton tried to play hardball. Now they're stuck with the player. They really don't have much money to go in and shop to bring in some players to reinforce the team. Hey, it is what it is, man. We're good. We got our 5. Maybe we may get another surprise transfer in the next couple of days. We shall see. Um, let's see. Keenan is asking thoughts on the U.S. men national team new manager, Mauricio Pochettino. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I did not see that happening. Honestly, I did not see Mauricio taking a national team position. But again, it's the U.S. man. It's the U.S. national team. It's it's U.S. The biggest, one of the biggest nations in the world. Of course, not in the football. I mean, soccer. Some of you are in the U.S., but it's a big job, right? U.S. They're definitely going to make it to the World Cup. Next World Cup is going to be right here in the United States. So they needed a coach that can maybe basically get that team playing, in a certain style, play a certain way. And the U.S. national team, the players are young, and Pochettino knows how to play with to train young up and coming players. So I hope it works out. We shall see. We'll keep an eye on it, right? So yeah, man. So basically, this has been a really interesting day for us, Man United fans. I'm sure we're all excited today when we saw that here we go for Ugarte. And also, we're happy to see Mctominay leaving. We thank him for his service. Again, I'm going to remind you all, if you see any Napoli fans, if you see Antonio Conte, thank him for taking McTominay off of our hands, and because we needed that money, man. Manchester United phone line. So Johnson here is saying Manchester United front lines doesn't look scary. I mean, for now, it will get there. I think with game time, it will get there. Once I would think maybe once Hoyland and Xerxes they get more training times with the likes of Ruben Nistelrooy. Van Nistelrooy impacts them with that the good old-fashioned ancient number 9 way of playing, right? Once Ruben Nistelrooy, injects that killer instincts in them, we're gonna be cooking. And then of course Ahmad is looking okay, right? With more game time, Ahmad is gonna get better. Garnacho, he looks like he's hungry, right? So that's good. People are saying maybe with Mazraoui coming in, Mazraoui can unlock Anthony. I can't wait to see that. We shall see if that's really going to happen, right? We'll see if that really is going to happen. But again, I don't expect much from Anthony, right? Anthony has one move. He likes to cut into that to his left foot to try to curl it in, and everybody knows that move, and so he's not effective, right? So again, we shall see. We shall see. But again, Anthony's going to stay. I don't see him moving, leaving. Rashford is going to stay. Hopefully, he gets better with game time, right? With game time. So, guys, listen, my son over here asking for candy, knowing that I'm live. Really? Have a few of them. Okay. Levi, come and say hi to the family.
Hello.
Over here.
Hello. Hello.
That's Levi, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Go. I'm going to fish. Yeah. So, kids, man, kids are funny. He sees me, I'm on here, and says, oh, this is the time to ask because, when he's live, he's not going to say no. Really? All right. So hopefully, we become lethal, man. We become lethal with our strikers. And again, midfield looks decent now, right? Because and also we are stacked in defense too, guys. Last season, right? Last season, our biggest issue was the defense, right? This time, imagine we have Luke Shaw when he's back, Terrell Malacia, Lisandro Martinez, De Ligt, Lenny Oro when he's back. We have Maguire, we have Lindelof. Seven defenders, right? We are stacked. Even if we have injuries, we have coverage because I don't see Lindelof leaving. Honestly, I don't see Maguire leaving, right? We're stacked in defense. That defense, it should get us at least, that by itself should get us at least top 4, guaranteed. Midfield of you have Casemiro, Ugarte, Mainu, Mount, Bruno. Come on, that midfield, and then Toby Collier sitting on the coming on the up and up coming. I mean, we're looking okay. The strike force, we have now Xerxes, we have Hoyland, wings, we have Ganacho, Ahmad, Rashford, Anthony. So listen, top four is the bare minimum. That's what I think, guys. You guys let me know, what is your bare minimum for Ten Hag this season? It's top four for me plus a trophy because he has spoiled us, right? Ten Hag has spoiled us because the last 2 seasons he got us a trophy. So we're kind of used to it, right? If we don't get a trophy this season, it will be a failure, right? So again, you know, that is for me, that's my bare minimum for this season. The team that we have, it should be able to give us at least that, right? Um, Johnson is asking, is Hermoso coming? No, buddy. We're according to Jay saying top four, maybe top three. Yeah, yeah, of course, top three. Listen, I hope top three, but I'll take top four. But from what I saw, yeah, last week, no, the last couple of days ago, Ten Hag and Ineos, they're not going to bring in a left back, guys. Apparently, Ten Hag feels that he feels that Luke Shaw and Terrell Malacia, once they get better, and then we have backup of Diogo Dalot and Lisandro Martinez, Mazraoui, who can all play in that left back position. He feels that we can manage, so we don't have to bring in another stopgap, right? So the game plan is maybe the winter transfer window or next summer to address that position, permanently, instead of bringing a stopgap like we did last season, bringing in Sergio Region kind of situation, right? So that's what they're trying to do. So I don't think they're going to bring in a left back. If you ask me, and I'm sure some of you guys, you'd like to have a left back, even a free agent, like bring back Sergio Region. To me, Region played very well when he came, right? I'll take him, for until end of the season, and then maybe offload him. But Ineos doesn't want to do that anymore, right? They feel like they Ten Hag also feel like he has coverage in that left back, and he feels like, okay, it could be that Luke Shaw may end up coming back. And again, with Luke Shaw coming back, this dude is going to come back. He's going to play a few games, get injured again, right? We know that. Terrell Malacia, yes, he's back now training, but not with the first team, but he's kind of training to get his fitness up. Again, even if he comes back, Terrell Malacia, since he has been out for over 18 months, I think, that is also, it doesn't give me much comfort with Terrell Malacia, because with football players, they have to play in order for them to be healthy and all this stuff, right? If he comes back, right? Hold on a second. If he comes back, there's more chance of him getting injured again because he has been out of the game for a long time, right? So again, both of them, they don't give me much confidence when they come back. They're going to be able to sustain to staying healthy. So that's why Ten Hag feels okay with Mazraoui, Dalot, Lisandro Martinez. They can cover that left back. We shall see. It could very well be a mistake, right? Because ideally on that right back with Mazraoui and Dalot, they're each other's backup, right? In case one of them is injured, they can cover each other. But again, the way we're playing now, like last couple of games, we had Dalot on the left back and Mazraoui on the right back position. If one of them gets injured, then it creates a problem, right? So to be on the safe side, maybe the last couple of days we may get a surprise left back coming in, which from what I read, it probably will not happen, right? And hopefully we can really this Sancho thing gets done. Preferably, I would want Sancho to go to Juve, right? We take some money, send him to Juve, we give him a loan with the obligation to buy to Juve kind of thing. That way, end of the season, Juventus can, give us the money, whatever. At least he'll be off our books. Um, I was talking to some other folks. They were like, okay, if he goes to Juve, would you take Chiesa? Now, Chiesa, again, he's another injury-prone player, but I would in a way. But again, Chiesa looks like he's going to Liverpool, right? From what I saw last time. So you know what? We personally, I did not really miss Jadon Sancho, right? When he was at Dortmund, right? And when he went to Dortmund, I really thought he's going to stay there, but he went to Dortmund. He kissed the badge and everything. They were like Dortmund were like, yeah, Sancho, welcome home and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, they didn't keep him, man. That was such it was sad because the way he was killing it at Dortmund, we were like, yes, man, Dortmund, they're definitely going to sign this guy. But Dortmund was like, nah, we're not going to sign you, buddy. You can go back home. Come on, man. That was terrible. And I don't know if you guys have checked it out. Whenever you get a chance, go and look up Jadon Sancho's Instagram page, right? And see if you see anything resembling Manchester United on there. Everything is yellow, man. Everything is yellow of Dortmund. So you can see Jadon Sancho is checked out of Man United, man. He doesn't rate us. He wants to be out, right? So let's see. We'll need some people out to get wanted to place on top two. I really believe this. Definitely. Honestly, this team, from the way it is now, I think, honestly, okay, getting into Champions League positions a must, right? So how we're gonna do that? Finish top four, or win the Europa, right? So definitely next season, Champions League a must. People smash a like on the video. Hit make sure you share the video if you haven't done so already, right? So with so with those players that we have now, definitely top four or top three, should should be a target that we can definitely reach, right? And then next season, we bring in more reinforcements, right? Because again, we cannot solve all our problems in one transfer window. Ineos have done really good this time, right? And huge kudos to them. But again, they say that cliche: Rome was not built in a day, right? So maybe Ineos next summer, we get to offload the likes of Lindelof, Maguire, right? And if you offload Maguire, then of course they're going to bring in maybe Branthwaite to come in, and then you offload Casemiro, and then maybe bring in another midfielder, and then you offload the likes of Christian Eriksen, because we thought Eriksen, from what I saw the other day, I thought he's going to be going to Ajax, for like 5 million or something like that. But Ajax said, listen, they cannot afford his salary. So we're stuck with Eriksen, right? So we still have some pieces that need to be taken out of that team. And hopefully by next summer, we bring in more reinforcements. And then after next summer, man, we should be challenging for, yes, the title. I think after next summer we should be challenging for the title. That's what I'm looking at. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Johnson here is saying, listen, what about Rabiot? I like Rabiot, man. I don't know. I still don't see a lot of chatter when it comes to Rabiot this transfer window. We have 4 days to go, but again, Rabiot is a free agent. It could be a last minute thing. Rabiot, if Rabiot comes in, okay, we have Rabiot in that midfield, and then you have Ugarte, Casemiro, Menu, Mount, Bruno. Whew. Listen, I really rate Rabiot. I like him, right? And again, with Rabiot, he can kind of play more that the Kobe Menu, more advanced role position. I like him, and if we don't get Rabiot, I will take back Amrabat. But I would really like another midfielder to come in. Now the thing is, with Rabiot, you're gonna deal with his mom. A lot of people, whenever they think of Rabiot, they always think about his mom is the agent, and apparently she's not the easiest person to deal with. And if Rabiot is going to come, Rabiot would have to, obviously take a, agree for a pay cut because Rabiot also has a huge salary. He may want a huge salary, which he's not going to get at Man United. So he may take a pay cut, maybe under 250K, and then maybe Ineos could do a deal like, okay, we're not going to pay you your 300 amount. They can make it like sign a contract with him and then say, okay, make it like a bonus thing, right? Based on appearances and all this stuff, and then it can kind of add up to what he wants when it comes to salary wise, right? So, but again, Rabiot will be an amazing addition in that midfield if we can get him, because man, that will be crazy, right? So we shall see. But another thing that I like is I'm liking the fact that we're not linked with another striker in Ivan Toney. I didn't know for some reason I did not want Ivan Toney, man. And I don't know if you guys have seen, Chelsea is going mad. Every day Chelsea is signing new players. Now Ivan Toney is linked with Chelsea, right? Now if they get him, right, if Chelsea get Ivan Toney, that'll be nice, man. That'll be nice for them. But again, I'm glad we're not. I did not want Ivan Toney to come in, man. Yeah, I agree with you, Jay. We didn't need another striker because for example, if we got Ivan Toney, for example, I think he would have messed up that, the young striker group in our team, right? Because if he was to come in, he would have demanded game time, right? He would have demanded, a certain salary, kind of situation, right? So I like the fact now with the strikers that we have now, Xerxes, Hoyland, I want them to battle each other, right? Man United for life, what's going on? Smash a like as coming in, bar. Yeah. So Man United for life, thank you so much for joining. So I'm glad that we're not linked with Ivan Toney. He can go to Chelsea because Chelsea now they have 100 players. Chelsea's killing me, man. They're just signing these players. Like basically, they have a second squad right now at Chelsea of players that they don't want to they want to offload, right? I don't know what they're gonna do with them, right? They're gonna be just chilling there in the training with the kids. Why keep on signing more players, right? So it's ridiculous. And I really hope that United we don't end up bailing them out because they keep on signing these players and they expect us to come in and say, okay, we'll take Sterling off your hands, we'll take Ben Chilwell off your hands. Forget about it. All right, we don't want that. Ain't gonna happen, right? So we shall see, man. We shall see how this whole thing is gonna play out. We only have 4 days to go, guys. We survived the transfer window. I know, Man United, as Man United fans, man, we get tested every day, our mental strength with this team, right? We go into games thinking, okay, we're gonna play well, and then we make silly mistakes and we lose the game, right? This whole I don't know how many weeks, 3 weeks, we were waiting for Ugarte. Finally, we got the deal done, right? So again, listen, Man United for life. You're right, man. This Sterling rumor, it needs to end, dude. It needs to end. But according to our boss Dan Ashworth, he likes the idea of Raheem Sterling, right? He likes the idea. Now it could be that with Dan Ashworth, right? He likes the idea of Raheem Sterling because maybe when he was part of the England setup, he kind of knows Sterling from back then, right? So he knows, okay, Sterling can probably do a job for us, kind of situation, and maybe he feels like he can talk to Chelsea and then maybe bring him in at a really good price, right? And then also at the same time, we get to offload Sancho. But I don't like the idea, man. This guy Sterling, first of all, ex Man City, ex Liverpool. I don't know. I don't like that deal at all. Chelsea should figure out their own problems and they should not depend on us to solve their problems, right? Uh, will Chilwell be able to get fixed? Uh, Listen, Man United for Life, he has jokes. He's talking about Ben Chilwell. Uh, you know, will he be coming in? Listen, we don't want Ben Chilwell. Again, as I was saying, Ben Chilwell will be hanging out with Luke Shaw in the medical bay at Carrington. Whenever I say medical bay, it reminds me of what is that movie for Denzel Washington? Um, uh, you'll be playing basketball in Pelican Bay, that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't want Ben Chilwell, man. He's according to his injury report, Ben Chilwell is worse. His injury record is worse than Luke Shaw's. So what is the point of bringing this guy in, right? So no, no Ben Chilwell, and not only that, Ten Hag and Ineos have already said they're not going to bring in a left back. We're going to deal with the players that we have to cover that, because they feel like they have coverage now in Mazraoui, the low, Martinez can cover there. Luke Shaw, last year they'll come back after a while. So, we may roll the dice, and hopefully we don't get injury ridden like last time, right? So this is interesting, man. But today has been an interesting day. Gotta say, I'm glad that we finalized the Ugarte deal. Mctominay heading to Napoli. Again, if you see Napoli people, not Napoli fans, thank him for taking McTominay from off our books. Another thing, this is so crazy, guys. I was thinking about this. Imagine if you're a Napoli fan, right? Like, for us, we're happy with our transfer window. We got Joshua Zirkzee, we got Zirkzee, Lenny Yoro, Delit Mazraoui, Ugarte, this kind of players, right? Exciting players. And then with Napoli, Napoli fans, they got Lukaku and McTominay as your summer transfer window incomings. Come on. That will not excite me at all, right? Imagine, right? Saeed, you're saying Sterling replaced Sancho. Listen, Sancho should only be going to Juventus for me, man. I don't want to see him at Chelsea. Yeah, man, Lukaku for 100 million. I know it's crazy. So, hey, but more power to them when they unveil Scott McTominay. And I really think Scott McTominay is really going to kill it for Napoli, man. I think he's going to be a really good addition for them because again, Conte likes to play that more defensive type of ball, right? So he may do a good job. He may do a good job for them. So more power to them. We thank him for doing that because we needed that money. The 30 million that we're going to get for Scott McTominay, we needed it to finalize the Ugarte deal, right? And hopefully we can bring in somebody else. We still have 4 days, Ineos, 4 days, but somebody else should not be Sterling. Okay, it should not be Sterling because I cannot imagine Sterling, man, at Old Trafford. Golly, man, it's not going to be a good look. It's not going to be a good look. But again, if he wears that red Man United red jersey, we're going to have to support him, guys. What if he scores? We play Man City, and then he scores the winning goal. Come on, man. I'm going to jump up and cheer for this dude. I'm just going to have to do it, but it is what it is, man. What do you think about De Jong departing? Because Man United for Life, you're talking about De Jong departing. Where is he going? I didn't see this. Frankie De Jong departing to go where? I know for a fact it's not Manchester United. Right? I know Ten Hag has been wanting Frankie De Jong for the longest time. Let me check Twitter and see what else is going on. Let's see what's going on. I don't see Frankie De Jong trending or anything like that, man. I don't see. I think Frankie De Jong is going to stay there, man. I probably took it out of. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't. Frankie De Jong is staying, man. Frankie De Jong is staying. He's staying for sure. But one thing I do see, guys, listen, um, can this happen? I don't think so. But I see Lazio are considering signing Victor Lindelof. This is according to Di Marzio. Now, why would they sign Victor Lindelof? This guy is hurt. It doesn't make sense. This article is saying, okay, it could be like just paper talk. I don't see Lazio signing this guy because he's injured. Uh, his wife, Victor Lindelof's wife, on Instagram yesterday, I think, posted this picture, some suitcases, and then she took a picture saying like, "Here we go" or something like that. So people are like, "Oh, wow, is Victor Lindelof leaving?" I was like, he can't leave. The man is injured. He was on crutches the other day, so he ain't going nowhere, man. So I see Lindelof staying, but again, even with him, I know he wanted some game time, right? He wanted some game time, so maybe he may push for something, but I don't see anyone really coming to get him now. Maybe in the winter transfer window, but again, we shall see. Ineos, the way they're rolling, hey, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of days we hear a deal Victor Lindelof leaving, because listen, we definitely need more outgoings. I wouldn't mind us offloading Victor Lindelof, for I don't know 10 million. I'll take it. Let him go. We'll take that money, and then even if we don't bring anybody else, at least we'll have some money ready to go in that January transfer window. Which most of the time in the January transfer window, Man United usually doesn't do a lot of business. So maybe in January we use some of that money, uh, and then we'll see. Man United for life, man. E-football hub. Listen, man. It's much simpler and tactical than FIFA. Oh yeah. Okay. Is it e-football? Man United for life is talking about e-football. I'm gonna look it up, man. I am more of a FIFA guy, um, which is FC 24. That's what I usually play. But I'll check it out, man. I will check it out. I'll check out e-football, and then I'll shoot you a message. You can give me some pointers, all right? And yeah, man. One of these days, once I'm still new in this whole streaming thing. Maybe we're gonna have like some tournaments. We can play some of you guys and see what you can do, because I know a lot of you guys could be gamers and stuff like that, and we can challenge each other, right? See if you guys can school me or I can school you. That kind of situation. So we shall see. All right, people. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for hitting those likes. It's been an amazing time. Congratulations to all you guys, right, for having your mental strength to fight through the whole Man United craziness. It's gonna get better, guys. It's gonna get better. It has to get better. From this point on, it's a straight up, right? Straight up, man. Our team is gonna go up because we have the players that can play Ten Hag ball, right? So listen, it's gonna be. It's only the only way it's up from here, man. We're gonna start with that Liverpool game. With the Liverpool game, we have to win. And Ten Hag, listen, Ten Hag, I know you watch this channel, right? You gotta start the lit, man. Ten Hag, you gotta start the lit. Leave Maguire on the bench. All right. So, guys, listen. Thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace out. Take care of yourself. Love you all. Peace.